I'm Leanna Hawkins, and we are at the 2023 Future of Dealmaking Summit. I am joined by Chad Neale today. He is the Senior Vice President at Alliant Insurance Services, part of the M&A team. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Of course. So tell me a little bit about the work that you've been doing at Alliant on the M&A team recently, and what's been working for you in 2023 so far.
Fantastic. I actually came to Alliant 2 years ago, and so this year has really been focused on taking everything that we built. I built a team, we built a suite of services to service the M&A community, and I've really been focused on bringing that to the market now. So the things that have really been the focus of our messaging is cybersecurity and technology and how important they are as part of the transaction, both pre-deal and post-acquisition. My team's very unique within Alliant. Alliant is an insurance broker, very large, number 5 in the country, focused very specifically around different specialties, and one of those specialties is M&A. But they've always been taking the insurance strategy and bringing that both pre-deal and post-acquisition. So I joined that team to bring technology and cybersecurity consulting services to complement what we were doing from an insurance standpoint. So it's a very new muscle that Alliant's developing. I've got 25 years of experience doing this kind of work, assembled a great team, and the timing is just perfect because the market right now is looking at technology to help better enable the value creation strategy, right? There's actually many levers that they can pull from a technology standpoint to see better EBITDA returns. And then, of course, cybersecurity, you can't go a day without hearing about another breach. And the portfolio companies have become a very large target. In fact, many people think that there is actually an organized crime syndicate that focuses directly at portfolio companies. They're reading the journals, they hear about an investment, right? And they put together an attack knowing that those portfolio companies are typically fairly nascent when it comes to cybersecurity. So the community out there, the buyers understand that this can have a tremendous impact on their objectives during the hold period. So, we've built some services to help them get a pulse across the entire portfolio, how they're positioned from a cybersecurity standpoint, and then evaluate the risk and help them figure out how to bring up the fence across their entire portfolio. So it's a very holistic approach. So that's, my focus this year has been really, talking to a lot of private equity sponsors, hearing about their challenges and sharing how we can help.
And maybe just because I know, obviously, we're talking a lot about information technology and how your firm is helping people through the M&A process and hopefully preventing some of the situations with hackers and stuff that you mentioned. But maybe if you have one or two sort of case study examples of how you've implemented technology to help in these processes, that would, I think when it comes to information technology, so many people have been in this space for decades, and it's hard to wrap your head around, okay, what he's saying sounds good, but how are they actually implementing that? And that's helping people through transactions. So maybe just an example or two would be great.
It's a great point. One thing that we're doing that's a relatively new approach in the market is, helping our sponsors get pre-deal insights. So they're looking at a potential target. They're not ready to hire Alliant to come in with our full team and do a deep due diligence at this point, but they want to get some pre-deal intelligence on, where might be the pain points, how do they look. So we're offering to do that, and one of the things we leverage is a technology. It's a threat intelligence service, threat hunting, where we can actually profile the company using technology, a bunch of data feeds coming into a central repository, aggregating it, and looking for any kind of indicators of compromise. And then we can share that with the deal team and let them know, hey, we're seeing this kind of chatter on the dark web. Some areas that we want to focus on if you go forward with the deal could be X, Y, or Z, right? And this gives them just a little bit of ammunition, and again, when they're talking to management, making sure that they're carving out enough time for us to get some of the answers that we're going to need if they go forward with the deal. So that's one way that we're using technology on the pre-deal side, and then technology has really helped post-acquisition. I was describing that program that we're bringing to private equity, where we're going across the portfolio, assessing all of them, and then putting together risk plans for each one so that we can stay ahead of the attackers. We use some of the same technology on the pre-deal, post-acquisition that I was just describing, but we also have tech-enabled the process. So instead of giving the sponsors, could be the operating partner, could be the risk officer at the PE firm, spreadsheets and PowerPoints where those get lost and it's never at your fingertips. Right? We've actually put this entire program on a web portal so that our sponsors can log in and they can see real-time data on every one of their portfolio companies, how they've fared from the assessment, and then they can click into that portfolio company, see the roadmap that we've developed that will be focused on helping them achieve over the next 12 months. And this program, through this technology, has really shortened the time it takes to get to that assessment and then an executed roadmap with budget and resource allocation and so on. Because once we get the sponsors tuned into what's happening, now as a board member, they're empowered to help the portfolio company make those strategic decisions around what risks are you going to accept, and what risk are you going to try to tackle through budget and resource. And if the sponsor isn't on board, it's very hard for the portfolio company to get that support, but we're helping be that advocate. It's like, yeah, this thing that we've just described is very important. We really need your support if you want to make sure that your defenses are high enough that those opportunistic attacks are not going to find a foothold.
Right. And so how many people, I guess I'm just curious, how many other firms that are in your space are offering this high level of technology? Is this common? Or is what you're offering something that most people that are looking at doing an acquisition, buying or selling, would be familiar with?
It's a great question. I would say on the pre-deal side, you're seeing more of the competition embrace that pre-LOI insights that I was describing, right? Getting that and using something like a tool that we're using. But I would say we've actually partnered with an organization, it's called Beta, who has the threat intelligence tool that we use. And they're very sophisticated. They are a lot like a bit site or a security scorecard. But one of the things that they bring to the table that I think is unique is a team of analysts that help look at the inputs of the data and the threats that they're discovering. And after the tool and the machine learning is done its analysis, then the analysts are actually looking at the results, doing some testing to make sure they're limiting false positives or false negatives. So that part, I think, is you're seeing that become more and more of the standard due diligence. But that post-acquisition service, you hear a lot of people offering a service like that, but very few have made the investments in the web platform. So we're oftentimes meeting sponsors that have started a program like I'm describing. They see the dashboard that we've created, the visibility that they have, and they really are tuned into that. Because again, it shortens that time they have to wait to go from assessment to the spreadsheet or the PowerPoint that the service provider will be aggregating for them.
I'm a millennial, so I could ask you questions about this stuff all day. But I'm saving one last question. So I know that your firm has been recognized lately here at M&A for your wonderful work that you've been doing in the sector. Tell me about that.
Sure. So I'm happy to say that the things that I was just describing, that program, we call that Portfolio Cybersecurity Surveillance. That's been recognized as Product of the Year at M&A Advisors, so we're really excited. I guess there were thousands of applicants. We got down to the final 4, so very excited about that. And then the novel approach that I described where Alliant has made the investment as a classic traditional insurance broker to bring in people like me and my team to bring the technology and cybersecurity expertise. That's been recognized as well. We're up for Firm of the Year as well as part of the M&A Advisor Awards, so we're excited about that. I think it kind of validates the investment that Alliant made 2 years ago when we all got together over lunch and said, let's do something together. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much for all the information today and all the education on my part, Chad. It's great having you here.
It's so nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you for watching M&A TV.